which visa is best for you, fiancé or spouse? This is Fred Wahl, the Visa Coach, and today's topic is which visa is best for you, fiancé or spouse? And before deciding on which visa to apply for, you really must understand how your choice will affect you and your partner. Here I explain the differences in wait times, costs, when can you submit your application, eligibility of foreign children, the need for a joint financial sponsor, the effects of any arrest or conviction, and when is your partner allowed to work, as well as when can your partner cross USA borders to return home after arrival on the K1 or CR1 visa. I am Fred Wahl, the Visa Coach, and I work for you to prepare and craft your applications to submit to U.S. immigration. And sometimes callers ask me, do I fill in the forms for them, or do they have to do it themselves? Of course, I and the Visa Coach team together prepare your application for you. And unlike the other services, our involvement is not over once you submit your application. We remain with you and continue working and guiding you all the way on this journey until your foreign partner calls to say, well, she or he is on the way. And please watch to the end, because towards the end of this video, I will share what, in my opinion, is the most important factor to consider. Now, let's talk about K1 fiancé versus CR1 spouse visa. Which is better? Now, this topic is most frequently asked questions that I get. Couples want to know which visa is best, which is better. Each year, U.S. immigration receives about 30,000 spouse visa applications, and at the same time receives about 30,000 fiancé visa applications. So sorry, there is no simple one-size-fits-all answer. It's a horse race. Now, what is best for you and your partner depends upon your specific and individual situation, your goals, and your priorities. And that actually is why I offer, prospective clients the opportunity to speak with me early, free of charge, by booking an appointment from the link available at VisaCoach.com. And speaking together, I can get to know you personally and can advise what strategy, what path probably works best for you. Number one, processing speed. Historically, in the past, the fiancé visa had a significant speed advantage. But currently expected for 2023, this advantage has been minimized. Currently, USCIS is taking a few months longer to process a fiancé visa compared to how long they take to process a spouse visa. What this means is that by the time your partner arrives for his or her interview, the time difference between one or the other path is pretty slight. Currently, I expect a spouse visa to take only about 3 months more than a fiancé visa. And as there are so many factors that speed up or delay a case, this difference in time, I believe is not material. And basically, it's a tie for the two different cases. Number two, 1 or 2 immigration applications. Well, a spouse visa is regular immigration. This means your partner from the start is applying to come to the USA and remain here permanently. At the same time the visa is granted, permanent residency is granted as well. And the green card is waiting for her or his arrival. A fiancé visa is not regular immigration. Instead, it is non-immigrant visa. This is very similar to a visitor, student, work visa, where the applicant is allowed to remain in the USA only temporarily and eventually is expected to leave. A fiancé visa allows your partner to visit for up to 90 days. The hope is that within that time you will marry. And then if you do, in order for your new spouse to remain permanently, a second application must be submitted to U.S. immigration. And this is called petition to adjust status, from a K1 visa visitor to that of a permanent resident. So a spouse visa requires a single application to obtain permanent residency. A fiancé visa requires you to apply twice. Number 3, total costs, all the way from start through to the green card. A spouse visa includes approval for permanent residency for your partner. So for a fair comparison to a fiancé visa, we should add the cost that is added to a fiancé visa for the adjustment of status process for your fiancé who became your spouse after arrival in the USA to get his or her green card. So in practice, if you add up all the fees for a spouse visa, filing fee, medical fees, green card fee, and VisaCoach fees, your total cost would be around $3,100. For a fiancé visa, combined with adjustment status, the combined fees for filing, medicals, and VisaCoach, well, that would be around $4,500. So the spouse visa will give you about $1,400 left in your pocket. Number four, work after arrival. The spouse visa includes approval for permanent residency. This means your spouse can work immediately upon arrival to the USA. But in the case of a fiancé visa, the ability to work is only approved around, well, right now, about a year after arrival. Number five, travel outside the USA. Now, the spouse visa includes approval for permanent residency. This means your spouse can travel in and out of the USA immediately after the initial spouse visa arrival to the USA. But in the case of a fiancé visa, your new spouse will not be able to leave the USA for about, again, a whole year after arrival. Number six, eligibility of children. Now, if your partner has children, depending upon their ages, you can apply for them at the same time you apply for your partner. In the case of a fiancé visa, her or his children are eligible to be granted visas if they will still be under 21 years old by the day they arrive on their K-2 visas to the USA. But in the case of a spouse visa, you can only apply for a child as your stepchild, providing the child was under 18 years old on the day you married. Number seven, what if a joint sponsor is needed? Well, in case your income does not meet the eligibility level, you might need to enlist the support of a financial co-sponsor. All spouse visas may use a financial joint sponsor. However, the U.S. Embassy, depending upon the country, might require a fiancé visa sponsor to stand alone to meet his financial requirements on his or own without assistance from a co-sponsor. For example, Philippines, Vietnam, Nigeria do not accept co-sponsors for fiancé visa cases. Number eight, criminal history. Well, in the case of a fiancé visa, due to laws that have been enacted to protect a fiancé from potential spousal abuse, all records of previous arrests, citations, convictions, as well as restraining or protection orders must be included as part of the fiancé visa application. Prior incidents involving such issues as domestic abuse, drugs, or alcohol might also make the American ineligible to apply in the first place. Now, a spouse visa does not require any disclosure of previous arrests, etc. The only one type of past incident, that of child abuse, is the only disqualifying factor. 9. When can your application be submitted? For a fiancé visa, you can apply immediately after your in-person meeting and up to 2 years afterwards. For the spouse visa, you can apply immediately after the wedding if it was in person, or if you married online, immediately after your first in-person meeting after the online ceremony. And finally, the most important factor to consider, number 10, happy spouse, happy life. The most important consideration is really what makes your spouse happy. If your spouse always dreamed of a wedding in a particular church or chapel, surrounded by her or his family, friends, and neighbors, well, you are best served, regardless of all the other factors, to choose the path that makes your spouse the happiest. This was Fred Wahl, the Visa Coach, and I'm here to personally guide you on this journey. Now please like or add your comments to this video. Click here for our monthly newsletter and receive bonus eBooks. Here for YouTube's recommendation. Here for a full playlist of recent videos on choosing between a fiancé and spouse visa. And here to subscribe to our channel.